What is going on? Welcome to Truth Wizard, or welcome back to Truth Wizard. Of course, it's always good to have you. It's always great to be here. Thank you so much for joining. Today's show, I've got a little bit of a mixed bag of clips for everybody. We're going to have some videos that might creep us out and a couple that might have us questioning our reality and existence as a whole. No big deal. Just another standard Saturday around here at Truth Wizard. So I hope you're ready. I know I'm ready. Do me a favor. Before we get going, hit the like button, please. And more importantly, hit the subscribe button, especially if you have been here 2-3 times or more already and you haven't subscribed. Well, my gosh, my golly. I don't know what you're doing, man, but you got to do me a favor and you got to hit the subscribe button, please, and thank you. If you enjoy conspiracy theories, creepy videos, unpopular opinions, we're going to look at ghosts, UFOs, anything, man. We're going to look at it all. I want to talk about a little bit of everything here. If this sounds like something that you are into, hit the like. Hit the subscribe, stick around. It's going to be a good time. All right. With that being said, I'm going to zip it up and we will go ahead and get into it.
I think our phones are reading our fucking minds, bro. And I want you to save this and come back in fucking 5 years and tell me that I'm wrong. Because let me tell you, in like 2015, I told everyone that our phones were listening to us. I was like, I see the fucking pattern. I know it's fucking listening to me, bro. Oh no, that's fucking crazy. And it's true. It came out as true, right? Let me tell you, our phone is reading our fucking mind, because I will think something and not tell a fucking soul, bro. Just me and my fucking brain cells. That's the only one who knows that information. It pops up on my iPhone. Are you joking? It's reading my fucking mind, bro. And the only thing I can think is, like, maybe since it sees my algorithm and it's seeing everything I'm looking at on my phone, it's predicting my next thought and the things I'm going to think of based on what I just saw on my phone today. I don't know. I don't know how it's doing it, but I swear it's doing it. And I won't let you bitches tell me otherwise. I just won't. I'm telling you guys, in 5 years, you're going to be like, yeah, that one blonde bitch on TikTok was right. Because I'm right. I think our phone...
Has this happened to you? Have you experienced this yet? Seems to be a pretty sizable amount of stories online of folks allegedly saying the phones are reading their minds. Or is she onto something, that it is a new generation of algorithms that they've put in place that are able to predict your thoughts or what you're going to search, what you're going to think about based on the content that you've searched for, or if you've consumed content they recommended to you? What's your take on this? Man, oh man. I would like to think and imagine that probably a large majority of people do believe that the chemtrail conspiracy is a real thing. What is your opinion on the matter? Because I saw a video recently, and I'm going to include it in this episode or the next one of the two. It's good perspective. It's a logical explanation that doesn't seem too crazy over the top like they normally do, trying to explain some shit away, right? So I'd like to know where you stand with this. I can see, like, on the surface how this does not look normal. Like, this is not normal. I would not imagine this to be normal behavior for merely having this being jet engine exhaust, basically, right? Like, how do we go from bright, sunny blue skies to completely overcast in a matter of hours from just watching planes fly overhead?
This photo was taken by hikers in Bolivia. Initially, it just looks like an attractive shot of the surrounding area, but something odd can be spotted on the other side of the lake. Zooming in closer, There appears to be a semi-transparent creature walking along the edge of the water. We can see that the creature resembles the gray alien, with elongated arms and legs, a rounded head, with large bulbous eyes. The creature seems to be semi-transparent and doesn't have a reflection, so is this some kind of interdimensional creature, or just an elaborate hoax? This photo was taken by hikers.
I'm not sure what to think about this. You know, from here, it does just kind of look like that's just like debris laying on that sandbar. It really does. Do you see that too? How it's not a creature, it's just like there's stuff laying down, but how it's laying down, it looks like it's standing up, like it's laying on the sand, looks elongated. It's laying further back away from you. And so I don't know what would be the head, that little dot there, like that would be more in the trees, something in the tree line, right? Am I doing a horrible job pointing this out? I feel like I probably am. But let's take this zoom here. Why not? See, on the zoom in though now, it doesn't look like that. It looks like a creature. So, oh my goodness. I don't know, man. I mean, I love a good creature like the rest of us, okay? But I'm not sure if this would be some manipulation. This looks here as if it's just ordinary debris. It's a perspective thing. But then whenever you do this, my God, it dramatically changes. So I have no idea. What do you think? Is this an altered photo, or did they get super lucky and caught an alien walking down the sandbar?
What's that? Oh, some information recently came out on some certain files that were released, and it talks about how EFT, or subtle frequency waves, are used on humans to be able to read their minds. Tell me more! Yeah, it talks about how these waves are used, and it's done from the cell phone towers to the cell phones, and then it gets intercepted into our body, where it can then pick up what we're thinking. Oh, goody. This gets eerie because it goes in full depth how it can actually pick up what we're thinking. And then it also talks about how it can actually get into our body in a way to do a full takeover for however long they would like. Okay. It talks about how the only way to avoid this is being inside a Faraday room. And if you don't recall, there were recent people talking about how in their Faraday rooms, they felt like they can control their thoughts. And the second they would leave their Faraday room, all of a sudden their thoughts felt like they were being controlled. Okay. What's that? Oh.
Okay. So I have not seen any emails relating to this. Does not mean they do not exist. I have not personally scanned the files myself. And if you leave it up to everyone online, you are going to see the exact same narrative and assumptions. So you're not doing yourselves any favors. But I don't have a reason to think this is probably not a thing they're working on or cannot be done. But I do have a serious question. Do they really need to like be sneaky about emitting certain frequencies and waves to read our minds when people pretty much put themselves on full display on social media now? And I'm kind of being serious. Like I don't want to take the fun out of the conspiracy, but think about this rationally. Since about 2010, 11-ish, people have been putting everything on social media. Their food, their pets, their kids, their homes, where they hang out, where they shop, the deals they got on shopping, the deals they got on their new car. I mean, all of it, man. Now, the culture has shifted a little bit, it seems, from what goes on social media, but people are not shy about putting their opinions out there. And they'll put, whether it's happy, whatever emotion it might be, okay? So, do they really need to put out some type of frequency and antennas or 5G, 6G, whatever G to try to read your mind when people willingly give up their state of mind? I am a conspiracy theorist by most definitions. So I'm not saying I don't believe in this stuff, but I don't know, man. Some of this, it does make me question or wonder. I don't know what a Faraday room is. So I do have some homework pertaining to this video to go do some digging. So I'll let you know what I find.
Scroll down to his very first posts. The account might seem completely normal. But then, at some point, the madness begins. There he is, sitting with his wife, who, by the way, is named Natalie. What's interesting is that...
Dude, there is no way this is real. There's no way this is real. Look at Natalie. Is he in a restaurant? That's a leg. And is he in a restaurant with this thing? Dude, there ain't no way this is real. I got to rewind this a little bit. There ain't no way, man.
There he is, sitting with his wife, who, by the way, is named Natalie. What's interesting is that in every photo or video, Natalie's mouth looks different, sometimes open, sometimes closed, which suggests that he actually has interchangeable mouths for her that he swaps depending on the situation. And here are his children, online. There are a few different theories about what really happened to Chris. Some say he lost his family in a tragic accident, and after that, his mind began to deteriorate.
Y'all, first of all, I'm having a hard time taking this one serious, if you can't tell. Second, because of that, good God, look at the eyebrows on this thing, man. This ain't for real, man. This is not for real. If this is also, look, if this is for real, why would he paint eyebrows on that thick? That thing is hideous.
After that, his mind began to deteriorate, leading him to create dolls to replace them. Another, and perhaps more believable version, is that his wife cheated on him, and the heartbreak that drove him to the edge. At least the good news is that his dolls are made of plastic, not anything real, unlike some darker cases out there. At one point, Chris even gave an interview where he was directly asked if he had any mental health conditions. Chris openly admitted that he had been diagnosed.
My God. This thing is in a cap and gown.
Diagnosed with schizophrenia, but said he keeps everything under control and doesn't harm anyone. Since starting his blog with his doll family around 2021, Chris has gained quite a bit of attention, especially in his home country, Colombia. He and Natalie have even been invited to events, parties, and restaurants.
Natalie.
Over time, he's built a small community that genuinely supports him.
God,
and honestly,
yeah.
Good for him. He's not hurting anyone.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that the guy seems happy. So here's hoping Chris and his doll family have many more years of love and peace together.
I don't want to be any more insensitive than maybe I already have been, so I'll just say what our narrator said. Yes, many more years to you and Natalie, sir. Congratulations. She is stunning, and I hope you both have a wonderful life together. Well, I can already tell before I even play this, this is quite a change from Natalie we just watched. I can't wait for this. Let's see what's in store here.
What do you suppose Elon, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg should do with their money? If you were able to run their money and run how wealth distributes, how would you tax them, and how would we be affected, the middle and the lower class?
Yeah, I would cap it at 900 million is the amount you can make, and I would distribute the rest, you know, to make sure everybody got their needs met. So yes, I guess to answer your question, if we're talking about today's society where we're at with all the billionaires, that's what I would do.
I would bring us back to 1950s tax rates in the United States. 91% tax rates on the highest tax margin. Now let's talk about let's explain what that means.
So you want a 91% slavery people?
No.
I don't know about that terminology.
Hold on.
Slavery.
And of course it's not, and I'm not trying to be inclusive. I'm really not.
We're talking about a tax on people that are making more than $10 million per year on every dollar above $10 million. Wow. Let's say that. Up to that point, does anybody really need to live on more than $10 million?
Your place to decide that.
It should be everybody's place.
It's not my place to decide. What I don't care what you do. Listen, you could go out and blow all your money on a super, and I don't care.
What do you suppose?
I'll be honest. I think she's a little bit too old to have her hair that color, but she's got a point. That's a little irrelevant because she's correct. It doesn't really matter how he spends his money. Here's the problem I have with this type of thinking. This type of thinking is okay when you don't know any better and you have zero life experience and you think that, you know, you just look at everything from purely an emotional level, right? Let me ask you this. Let me start by saying, first of all, I believe the lottery is rigged, but another conversation for another day. However, let's pretend it's not. If this guy were to have won the lottery, okay, and he wins a $30 million jackpot, but now the government steps up and says, oh, by the way, you can only take home $10 million because you don't need more than $10 million. Nobody does. How do you think that guy is going to react? Let's try this another way. Let's say that this guy opens his own business. Okay, whether he opens a restaurant and that multiplies into, network TV opportunities, whether he starts a landscape company and he expands and gets, commercial contracts, whatever business you want to conjure up. Let's say that guy opens a business and 5-10 years down the road, his business turns into a multi-million-dollar company. And now he stands to make $12-13 million, just over the threshold. But here comes Uncle Sam saying, whoa, no, not so fast there, little buddy. You don't need any more than $10 million. We'll be taking the rest of that at 91% to the dollar. How do you think that guy is going to react? Also, how do you think other people are going to react? Even the ones that aren't making anywhere near that amount of money. People would lose their minds. Would you not consider that to be a government overreach, right? Like, no one would want that. There would be severe outrage. Lots of protests, probably lots of riots. But why is it that when regular people, they are allowed to have the overreach though, right? Now all of a sudden we are allowed to do what we wouldn't want the government doing to the millionaires and the billionaires. Let's get this straight. I'm not defending some of these billionaires that, yeah, they probably are dipshits. A lot of them are probably very selfish people. Sure. But I don't know all of them personally, and neither do you. So we can't fully make these assumptions, right? Because based on also the same exact logic of racism type speak, okay? You're not supposed to judge someone based on XYZ factors. So if I'm going to use that same exact logic and I'm expected to follow that logic and that reasoning for my fellow people around me, then why don't we have the same courtesy that maybe not everybody who is wealthy, truly wealthy, maybe they're not all bad people? Ever thought about that? Again, I love a good conspiracy theory, but at what point can we and are we allowed to interject some logic into the situation? But I don't mean this to be mean. It's just another point. Most of these folks on this panel look like they are doing pretty well nutrition speaking, right? Maybe a little too well. Some a little more well than others, but they all are doing just fine. So at what point does the government or do I get to say, hey, it looks like you've consumed your 2,000 calories. In fact, we even gave you a buffer and you had 500 more calories than you should have. You had 2,500 calories today. That's about all you need. There are plenty of people in your hometown, let alone in the country, let alone internationally, that are starving, that don't have any food. So I'll be taking that and I'll go give it to them. Do you think these folks are not eating or they're buying food and then donating it to the homeless or to other folks in need? What do you think about that? Again, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm really not. I'm just making a point here. And I think you see what I'm saying. Whether you want to agree because you want to lash out emotionally, that's your prerogative. But if we're being completely and brutally honest about shit, the only reason people, ordinary, average people, middle class, poor, upper middle class, the only reason that they want all this wealth distribution is because they don't have any money. If these folks were making 120, 150K a year or more, they wouldn't be thinking this. They wouldn't really give a shit about this. They wouldn't be asking these questions and having these conversations because they've got money. What is your take? Do you think people are honestly just a little unfair because they don't have money, and if they were more successful and they focused on that success instead of focusing on what other people have, that they would change their mind? I think it also takes some life perspective to start seeing it this way, because I thought the same thing when I was younger. I didn't see why the government, if we can just print all this money and give it to companies and bailouts like during 2008, why not just take that money and give it to people? This is not a new concept. It's not a new issue. And the fact of the matter is, if I'm being honest too, the government could have given me $100,000. I would have blown it on dumb shit. Hell, I'd still blow probably half of it on dumb shit. So let's just be a little more honest with ourselves and have accountability for ourselves and our fellow people, right? That's what we should be doing. Just let everybody else, they're doing their shit. Let them worry about them. Worry about yourself. If you don't have enough money, I hate to be this person, but you're kind of forced to be the person to figure out, how do you make more money? And once you've done that and you start making more money, would you want somebody else, your neighbor, somebody in your family, or someone just who lives across country saying, well, it's not very fair? Sheila here is making $150,000 and I'm only making 40, and I work, I try. But do you try hard enough? And also, why is Sheila getting punished and now giving all her money away? You think Sheila's going to be okay with that? No, you're not. You're not. They're just mad that they don't have the excess wealth. And so they want it because they're entitled. Well, being entitled and being deserving of it, it's two different, it's not the same thing.
Why couldn't God just forgive us? Why was a sacrifice even necessary? If God couldn't forgive without a sacrifice, that would imply that God is not all-powerful. If this story makes no sense and seems illogical, there's a reason. It's allegory. The hidden meaning of the sacrifice is simply the concealment of occult science. You see, science back in the day was something that most wouldn't believe in. It was way easier to explain everything with gods, devils, angels, rather than doing scientific research. It was easier for them to believe things like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, rather than believing that the universe consisted of energy that could be harnessed. Among other things, the 4 points on the cross symbolized the 4 elements of creation. Christ symbolized us. We are the product of both spirit and matter. That's why Christ is considered the mediator, a symbol that connects heaven and earth. And each of us are that symbol. And only when we learn to sacrifice the concept of spirit and matter can we even begin to have a vague comprehension of the source we call God. As long as you continue to take these stories literally, you will continue to be misled with the masses.
I agree with him pretty much 100%. I've been saying for a long time, let's think about this carefully. The same people that 80% of the population, well, so it seems, I don't know the actual number, but a lot of people are in agreement with politicians, billionaires, millionaires, again, all these elite, okay? Are liars. They've lied to us. They've conned us. They are eating babies, right? They're into some weird things, allegedly. These same people, mostly the politicians, love to agree with you on the God narrative. And they're such believers in God and Christ and everything. And they say all these things to make you feel warm and fuzzy, and it does make you feel warm and fuzzy, and then you vote for him. Do you see what I'm alluding to here? 100%, it is allegory. Those stories are not meant to be literal. This place is not what you've been told. And those people tell you things. Why would the people who many consider to be evil or misleading, why would they give you the book with all the answers, is the point. It doesn't make any sense. People think they've got it figured out. People think they've interpreted it correctly, just like they think they've interpreted all the emails, the files correctly. Spoiler alert, they didn't do that correctly either. Just my opinion, sure. But yeah, man, like, you are being misled. If you are still buying the biblical narrative and how religion is mass taught, I'm sorry, you are being misled. And I think that answers the question that most people have, is like, well, if this is true and this is this and this is that, then how is there so much suffering? How is there all this injustice? How are people still starving? How are these people still allowed to be in power? They're clearly evil. They don't care about us. They don't care about you. How is all this a thing? And no one has the answers. They explain it away as God works in mysterious ways. We don't know. He doesn't give you more than you can handle, though. There's all these little things that just require zero thought is the problem that I have. Like it's designed to make you not think. So now when you do think, you sound crazy. Or you're a devil worshiper, or you're this, or you're that, or you're labeled, and everyone else is against you. Do you see what a just bravo how they've constructed all this? It's incredible. But yes, it is allegory. It's not meant to be literal. And we are able and capable of doing so much more than we've been told, but you're chasing these stories and scriptures in a book. You're chasing them to a literal point. That's why we'll never reach, or you will never reach, a full potential. Just my take. That being said, I'm going to end it on that note. Let me know. Drop me a comment. Do you highly disagree, agree? Are you neutral and unsure about that stance? I really would like to know, and I'm going to dive into this a little bit more here in the very near future. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I will highly likely see you tomorrow. Enjoy your Saturday night. Be safe. Come back and see me. I will see you in the next one.